Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is the captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. I am back from my trip and twice as ugly. Finally getting some stuff done. I got to catch up all the sweet orders that you guys have gave me. If you've ordered from me, I'm working on it as we speak after this video. And I'm going to go ahead and put this video out now to catch up on the spoilers that I missed. I'll make another video later today around 8 or 9 o'clock my time Pacific after any other leaks or reviews comes out so I can get them all in one fell swoop. So, before we get started, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It helps support the channel and keep channel and keep us sponsor free because OnlyFans is just gonna be ugly for everybody involved. So don't forget, links in the description. Like us here, check us out on Rumble. It's all good. So let's get into it. I'm psyched. Let's see what I missed. So we got Zeotech Glyph, blue and 2 for enchantment, or you enchant an artifact. Enchanted artifact is a golem creature with base power 5/4, addition to other types. When this card is put into the graveyard from battlefield, you discover 3, also known as Cascade. This seems amazing. Holy crap. What a way to start out on this uncommon. Limited All-Star. I don't see how this doesn't get standard play, at least. I mean, a free Cascade for 3, put down a 1 mana artifact, put this on top of it, then your opponent kills it, you can Cascade for 3, like, it all sounds good. If they don't kill it, what are they going to do? Block the 5/4? You're still going to Cascade for 3, like, I don't know. This just seems so powerful. Anyway, moving on. Lot to cover. Next, we got Guardian of the Great Door, 2 white for a 4/4 angel. Oh my god. In addition to an additional cost to cast this spell, tap 4 untapped artifacts, creatures, and or lands you control with flying. Okay, so basically it has Super Convoke. 6 mana, yeah, that's fine. But when you have artifacts and creatures you can tap to, this can come out pretty quick. Although probably, it might be good in standard for a white weenie deck, just because turn 1 make a creature, turn 2 make 2 more, turn 3 probably lay this. That seems really strong. Limited All-Star as well, and worst case scenario for 6 mana you get a 4/4. I think this does see standard play. It may see play in some of the older formats if they're creature heavy with tokens. I think this has lots of promise. So moving on. Next we have Council of Echoes. Looks like a Mardi Gras party. 2 blue and 4 for this 4/4 flyer. Descend 4 when Council of Echoes enters the battlefield. If there are 4 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, return up to 1 target non-land permanent other than Council of Echoes to your hand. So you can't loop these, so that's probably a good thing. But for 6 mana for a 4/4 flyer, probably just going to be limited, but it will be good in limited. Alright, next we have Stinging Cave Crawler. A black and 2 for this 1/3 Death Touch. Pretty good on rate. It has Descend 4 whenever it attacks. If there are 4 more permanent cards in your graveyard, you draw a card and lose a life. Definitely limited All-Star. Maybe good enough for standard just because it's a draw engine that if they want to kill it, it's going to kill whatever blocks it. So yeah, this has some potential. We'll have to wait and see. I don't see it having a lot of potential, but I can definitely see there being a place for it. Outside of limited. Alright, next we have Tarion Soul Cleaver. Looks like that cleaver? That looks more like a pole arm. Anyway, 1 colorless legendary artifact equipment. Equip creature lies vigilance. Whenever another artifact or creature is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature. Equips for 2. Oh, it's a fixed non-broken Shadow Spear. That's what it is. Seems fine. In any format, Shadow Spear is legal. It will be played over this. But in limited, it will be good, and in standard, it could probably be pretty good in creature decks, just because creatures will get big fast, easy to equip, easy to cast. We'll have to see, but I mean, wouldn't be too terrible in a white weenie or mono red deck. Next we have Chupacabra Echo. So 2 black and 2 for this 3/2. It has Fathomless Descent. When it enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -X in turn, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. So before you got 2/2 for the same cost. You got 2/2 that killed any permanent or killed any creature. This gives this gives -X. This may be better as far as how it deals with creatures because it can stop stuff from being indestructible. However, you have to put permanents to your graveyard, which could be a hindrance because you have to have enough permanents to your graveyard to kill something. So, still a limited all-star. We'll have to see how it shakes out in standard, if it's going to be a contender or not. Next, we have Echoing Deeps. We have a cave. So, Echoing Deeps enters the battlefield tapped as a copy of any land card in a graveyard. Interesting. Except it's a cave in additions and taps for a colorless. I mean, I guess you could put this into play and make it a forest, have it for a green or a colorless. Right? I don't know. The cave thing's weird. But I'm going to have to see all the caves before I make a decision on any of them. Alright, Forgotten Monument, another cave. Imagine that. So, taps for colorless. This just squeals from an Eldrazi deck. Anyway, other caves you control have tap, pay 1 life, add 1 mana of any color. All right, that makes caves better. However, I don't like to play with a whole deck full of pain lands. That seems like a bad idea. But we'll see. Next we have Dirge of the Forgotten, a blue and a black sorcery, descend 8. So choose one. If your graveyard has 8 or more permanent cards, when you cast this spell, choose 1 or more instead. Alright, so you get 1. If you have 8 permanents, you can get as many as you want, at least once. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, not bad. Target opponent discards a card. That's right on rate for blue-black. That's great. I mean, they get to pick. You don't get to pick for them. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand, the rest in the graveyard. All good effects. I think this is going to see. This is going to be great and limited. This is going to see play in standard. This is too good not to. This is also too good not to be in the commander format. Lots of options to get 1. If you get 8 permanents in your graveyard, you can do all 3. Jesus, a blue and a black to return a non-land permanent, and then make your opponent discard a card. Then look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 in your hand, the rest in the graveyard. Slices, dices, makes Julian fries. This seems really good. Yeah, so I would definitely be on the lookout for this card. Next, we have Restless Reef, the blue-black man land. Comes into play tap for a blue-black and 2. Becomes a 4/4 blue-black shark creature with Death Touch to enter turn. Holy crap, is that good. When it attacks, target player mills 4 cards. Oh, wow. 4/4 Death Touch that mills somebody for 4 cards. This is officially my new favorite land. This is a great man land. This will see play in every blue-black deck. Yes, it comes into play tapped. I don't think they'll care. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Alright, we have a flip card, Lodestone Needle, blue and a colorless for an artifact with flash. That's always cool. When it enters the battlefield, tap up to 1 target artifact or creature and put 2 stun counters on it. That's really good. That's a removal spell for blue already, so it's already paid for itself. You can craft with artifact. So for a blue and 2, you can exile artifact. You can exile this artifact and another artifact you control from play or the graveyard. To flip this over to get the Guidestone Compass, which for 1 and tap, target creature you control explores, activate only as a sorcery. I mean, that's basically draw a card off the top of my deck if a land's in the way. That's a great way to thin out your deck. If it's not a land on top, who cares? I mean, now you know you're drawing action. If there is a land on top, guess what? There's not anymore. It's in your hand. This seems really good. Limited, probably great limited play. I definitely think this has standard potential. Probably definitely for Commander. And for the cost and it having flash, it's a possibility you might see this floating around some of the older formats. Next we have Squirming Emergence. That is so funny. Is that an Eldrazi with a pirate hat? Oh my god. Anyway, black, green, and one sorcery, Fathomless Descent. Return to the battlefield target non-land permanent card in your graveyard, mana value less than or equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. This is disgusting. Um, yeah, if you're milling yourself and you've got 9 permanents in your graveyard, for 3 mana, you can get back anything you want that's not a land, which is a lot of really belligerent things. This is going to see play in Standard, definitely limited. It's going to see play in Commander. Um, this this may see play in older formats. Like this may get a little action inside of a um, maybe a living end deck, possibly, depending on what you want to pull out of the graveyard, because you can cycle something big into the graveyard. Well, you cycle everything into the graveyard, but they're all permanents. So for 3 on turn 3, you can probably get back a 5/5 and give you more win condition options. It's really weird. I mean, it might not be good enough, but it seems like a possibility. Plus, Pioneer, this has lots of potential, guys. I would definitely be on the lookout for this card. Um, I think it's going to do some things. Next, we have Zoyawa's Justice. God, I butchered that probably. All right, red and 1 instant. Target the owner of target artifact or creature with mana value 1 or greater shovels it into their library, and that player discovers X, where X is the mana value. Oh my god, this is so good. I mean, it's going to be good and limited. But could you imagine if you play an artifact and it costs, I don't know, 4 mana? Someone tries to destroy your artifact, so you're like, oh, well, in response, let me just put this back into my graveyard and then cascade for whatever the mana cost of that artifact is. This is absurdly good. Uh, I mean, you can even use it on your opponent's stuff. If you get desperate, it can stop your opponent's things from doing things. So yeah, I think there's potential here. This is definitely going to be a combo card that somebody's going to get out there. I mean, I can't tell you all the combos I can think of off the top of my head, but there's so many different ways that you could use this on your own artifacts to just go ham. Because it also says creatures. Like, there's ways to cheat creatures in that have high casting cost, and then use this to cascade into that same creature again and get its ability. Like, I forget what they are, but the Eldrazi's that you could like sacrifice a creature to lower their casting cost. You could get those into play quick and early, and then if someone tries to deal with it, or just later on principle, you could cast this and get to you put it back in your graveyard and then cast another big creature. There's so much going on here. I can't even get into it all in this video. This is gonna be a great card. All right, next we have Akal Pakal. I probably said that right. First among equals blue and 2 for a 1/5. Okay. Beginning of each player's end step, if an artifact entered the battlefield under your control this turn, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, the other into the graveyard. Oh, this is absurd. So this is going to be a powerhouse in all formats. Period. End of story. I mean, this is Brawl Plus. Yeah, this thing is insane. In an artifact deck, a loot tree deck, if you're playing loot tree in Commander, this should be in your Commander deck because, or not loot tree. Oh my God, you know what I'm talking about, the blue chick. That 1 blue and 2, she casts cheaper for every artifact you have. Like the whole deck's artifacts, so you're going to get a card out of your deck at the end of your turn. Yeah, this is amazing. It's gonna be in almost all the formats probably. In some way, shape, or form, depending on deck archetype. This is a powerhouse. End of story. Next we have Chamil. That sounds kind of Aztecian. Anyway, the Inner Sun. 6 colorless legendary artifact. Spells you control can't be countered. That's pretty good. At the beginning of your end step, discover 5. So you just cascade every turn just for giggles. Just, giggles. This is absurd. I mean, limited All-Star, because you're going to cast your whole deck for free. Standard All-Star, you're going to cast your whole deck for free. Commander All-Star, cast your whole deck for free. Do I need to go on? I mean, the older formats, you probably won't see this because it's 6 colorless. but there's tons of ways it's cheated into the battlefield, so like maybe you will. Yeah, this is going to be a $20, $30, $40 card, especially if someone finds a way to break it. Yeah, this is going to be one of the hot hits of the set. All right, next we have Sentinel of the Nameless City, green and 2 for a 3/4 merfolk. That's a good rate, especially with Vigilance. And when when Sentinel of the Nameless City enters the battlefield or attacks, you can make a map, which means that you're going to get to explore every turn and make this thing huge. Or draw cards, both of which good options. This is going to be another powerhouse for Standard and Limited. At 3 mana, maybe not the older formats, but definitely potential. This is very much on par with Tireless Tracker. If you don't think it is, I think you need to think again. Tireless Tracker is a 3/2 for a land coming into play. Yes, you could trigger it twice, yada, yada, yada. This is a 3 mana 3/4, which avoids a lot of removal with Vigilance that can also block and gets bigger for 1 mana, not 2 and a token, and you still draw cards. This may be, I'm going to say it, I'm going to put it out there, this may be the better Tireless Tracker that replaces that card or supplements it in all the decks that you see. Just saying it. I said it. I'm not upset about it. Moving on, we have the Diamond Pickaxe, 1 red. Indestructible, equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has, whenever this creature attacks, create a treasure token, equips for 2. I mean, it's fine for Limited. I think that's probably about far as it's going to go. Doesn't really do enough for Standard, I don't think. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. All right, moving on. Next, we have Glowcap Lantern. 1 green artifact equipment. Equipped creature has, you may look at the top card of your library at any time. Whenever this creature attacks, it explores. That is really good. Equips for 2. If you know you have a land on top, you don't mind sacrifice a creature, you can just equip this bad boy up, swing in, explore, draw it. If they kill it, who cares? You got that land off top of your deck, maybe you'll get action instead. So this seems really good. There might be some shenanigans in Standard for this, maybe even an older format, hell, who knows. Definitely a Limited All-Star. Definitely be drafting that in Limited. All right, next we have the Face of Terror. It's the Crystal Skull. Get it? Crystal. Anyway, moving on. 1 black and 1 artifact. When this enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. Choose an artifact or creature card from among them. That player discards it. Wow, that seems good. A discard spell for 2. With the ability of craft with 2 creatures for a black and 5. Which means you exile this artifact and 2 creatures, could be from your graveyard, to get a 5/4 Horror Skeleton Dinosaur. That's a mouthful. And when this enters the battlefield or attacks, you mill 2 cards. Nothing like a discard spell that turns into a 5/4 to slap you in the face when they're done with it. Yeah, this is good. Limited All-Star, probably going to see Standard play. That might be it, though. 6 mana is a lot to craft. Next, we have the Ancient One. So, this is a blue-black. This is one of my favorites. It's an 8/8. Legendary Creature Spirit God, Descent 8. So it can't attack or block unless you have 8 or more permanents in your graveyard. However, for a blue, black, and 2, you can draw a card, then discard a card. And when you do, target player mills equal to that card's mana cost. So you could target yourself. You could be like, I'm going to draw a card and discard this 4 mana spell. And then mill myself for 4. Now there's 5 permanents in my graveyard probably. Which means that by the time you get to turn 4, this thing's now probably active as an 8/8, which is just terrifying. This is going to see play. Standard, Limited, older formats because it's 2 mana. This is going to see action, especially older formats. Holy crap. With fetch lands and all that shit going on. Excuse my French. Yeah, this is going to see play. All right, moving on. Next we have Vanguard of the Rose, a white and 1 for a 3/1. Vampire Knight for 1, sacrifice another creature or artifact. Vanguard of the Rose gains indestructible in their turn, then you tap it. It's kind of a fixed card for white that's indestructible with discarding, but now costs mana, so you can't just do it for free. Still going to be very powerful, played in Standard and Limited. I don't think it's going to be played in older formats because of mana cost. There's other cards that do the same effect for no mana cost, so we'll have to wait and see. Next we have Spelunkin Merfolk. Blue and 2 for a 2/4. Not a bad rate. Whenever a creature you control explores, Spelunker Merfolk gets +1/+0 to end a turn and can't be blocked. Alright, blue-green may be a thing. This is going to be fine for limited, but that might be the only place it really sees play. Next we have Molten Collapse. Black and red. You get to choose one. If you descended this turn, you may choose both instead, which means if something goes to your graveyard, you can do both these things. Destroy target creature or planeswalker, already amazing. Destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent, mana value 1 or less. That's not so hot. The ability to do both is fine. This is, not decimate. This is basically the the red-black card that was an instant that lets you just kill a creature. This kills a creature or planeswalker. Yes, it's a sorcery, but who cares? The second part's just a bonus. This is going to be the best removal moving forward for a while. For 2 mana, I don't see how it's not, even as a sorcery. So limited All-Star, standard All-Star, Commander All-Star, probably going to see play in older formats as well. All right, next we have Ixalan's Lore Keeper, 1 green, 1/1. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast dinosaur spell or activate a dinosaur ability. Oh, look, it's an elf for dinosaurs. Literally. Only dinosaurs. And what that means? Dinosaur decks. A thing. Because they have elves. This is a card they said they would never print an elf like this because of how powerful it is. But now they're going to print it so you can cast big fat dinosaur butts. Butts? Dinosaurs. Big monster. Anyway. Great card, standard, limited. Anything playing dinosaurs, this is going to be a staple. Next we have Akawali, the Seething Tower. It's a big fungus. Anyway, black, green, and 1 for a 3/3. Good rate, descend 4. As long as there are 4 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, it gets +2/+2, has trample. So for 3 mana, you get a 5/5 trampler. Seems fair. Descend 8. As long as there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, it gets an additional +2/+2 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So it becomes a 7/7. With trample. They can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. Yeah. Limited All-Star. Standard All-Star. Probably going to see play in some of the older formats depending on how the decks are built. Because this thing's just broken. Wow. Alright, moving on. Glimpse the Core. Green and 1 sorcery. Choose 1. Search your library for a basic forest card. Put it in the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Return target cave from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Oh, look, it's Rampant Growth. For forests. That seems fair. This is disgusting. This is going to be a card played in every format that it's legal that doesn't already have Rampant Growth or even does. Especially in Commander. Guys, in Commander, this is going to be expensive, especially the foils. Get them now before they get too pricey. This is not a card they normally print. So, yeah, let's just keep that in mind. All right, guys, we're all caught up. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. Till next time, be kind. And I hope to see you across from the game table. Wow, I'm so far behind. Jesus. All right, moving on.